You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys, we should have saw this coming. We all know where Sophie Cunningham stands on the transgender sports issue. She does not want men in the locker rooms with female athletes. She doesn't want to compete against males in her sport. Now, folks, I said this is not political. It's just common sense. Now, insane people will make this political, but the majority of people don't believe that males should actually be in female sports. It's just common sense. Now, Sophie Cunningham has not been afraid to actually stand on what she believes. She actually doubled down on it. She said, I said what I said. She's not backing down. She seems to be the only WNBA player with any courage to actually answer the question directly. She's not dodging anything. And now that actually brings us to woke Megan Rapinoe. Now, Megan Rapinoe played women's soccer throughout her whole entire career. She was never pushing for males to invade female sports. Not until the end. Because when she was actually washed up, she came out and said, yeah, I want the men to invade women's sports. It's perfectly okay because I'm not going to be there. Now, Megan Rapinoe really doesn't have a career outside of soccer. I believe that Sophie Cunningham actually has a bright future outside of basketball. She seems to be very likable. She's doing a whole bunch of other things as well. I mean, she was at UFC, other stuff. She actually covers WNBA games too. I didn't even really know that. But she's very, very well liked. Megan Rapinoe, not so much. Remember, guys, when the USWNT lost at the World Cup, Megan Rapinoe had a huge miss. And guess what? Americans were celebrating. Why? It's because the USWNT, they hate the country. A super woke team and Megan Rapinoe was actually kneeling for the national anthem. But now, guys, Megan Rapinoe is actually attacking Sophie Cunningham. Now, Sophie Cunningham actually took a picture with Riley Gaines. But Riley Gaines actually competed against a male, Will Thomas. She didn't like it. So now that Sophie Cunningham has been seen with Riley Gaines and pretty much believes the same thing, Megan Rapinoe has to go on the attack. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised whatsoever. And this is why I have been critical of these women not speaking up when it comes to the trans invasion. Because I truly do believe that these women really don't want to compete against men. But people like Megan Rapinoe are vocally trying to get men to invade women's sports. So let's go ahead and dive into this, guys. Here we go. Right over here, Ollie London. Megan Rapinoe bashes Sophie Cunningham for meeting Riley Gaines amid trans debate. Yeah. And by the way, in this clip, Megan Rapinoe goes off and says that Riley Gaines has made her life mission to exclude trans people. That's not the case. Riley Gaines just doesn't want males in female sports. Yeah. Just like you, Megan Rapinoe, you really didn't want men in women's sports. If so, you would actually said something about that while you were still playing. And you would actually open up the door and invite them in when you were playing. But oh no, you waited till you were done. Anyway, let's listen into this, guys. Here we go.
I want to address the controversy that is happening right now around trans women in sports. As you know, I've talked about this a lot and will continue to keep talking about this. I don't know Sophie, so I can only project what I see about her beliefs based on her actions. And seeing a picture of her with Riley Gaines after the game told me everything I need to know about what's happening. Riley Gaines has made it her life's mission to exclude trans people from public life. She's directly tied to the Heritage Foundation, the authors of Project 2025 and now 2026. who have now published a report that suggests that they want to repeal Title IX, the very piece of legislation that allowed athletes like Sophie and myself to compete in sports. Sophie has claimed both to love trans people and support Title IX. And this is where I think the accountability with having a major platform is extremely important. You can hear it even in the language being used that the root of trans exclusion is to protect young girls from men. To be clear, I would love to have that conversation, and it's much needed in this country. But it frames the conversation as if we're protecting young girls from men being in WNBA locker rooms. Not happening. It villainizes trans girls as if they're somehow magically older than their peers or are men, when in reality, they are also young girls. These laws are excluding kids from playing youth sports. If we want to have a conversation around elite sports, there are effective policies that have been in place for many years that no one noticed because they worked. So if anybody is taking these talking points as legit or believing they're protecting young girls in sports, I just have to ask, are you serious?
Why doesn't Megan Rapinoe ask Peyton McNabb? Remember, she was actually in high school when she got severely injured and her career was over. Spiked in the head by transgender. I mean, I believe she still has physical difficulties right now because she competed against a man in volleyball and the male crushed her skull, concussed. This is astonishing, guys. So Megan Rapinoe is essentially saying that she believes in Title IX, but she believes that men should actually be invading women's sports at the same time. When Title IX was actually supposed to, give females the opportunity to play their own sports. It wasn't designed to actually have males invading their sport, which Megan Rapinoe is all about that. And she used that weird language right here about Riley Gaines, man, trying to exclude trans people from life or something like that. No, Riley Gaines just does not want males in female sports and in female spaces. So by that logic, Megan Rapinoe, I guess she'll be perfectly okay with a man being in the restroom with you, right? You'll be perfectly okay with that. You'll be perfectly okay with a man showering in the same locker room as you. I've done videos, guys, where we actually had these so-called transgenders in locker rooms at like Planet Fitness, I believe. And because they were transgender, it was perfectly okay, right? Yeah, they caught so much backlash, folks, they ended up, I believe, changing the rules. Yeah, but Megan Rapinoe, since it doesn't affect her, she's perfectly okay with other women being abused. Unbelievable. This is absolutely astonishing, folks. Absolutely astonishing. Going out there attacking Sophie Cunningham because Sophie Cunningham has the same beliefs on this trans issue when it comes to Riley Gaines. And Megan Rapinoe is definitely triggered by Riley Gaines because Riley Gaines has been fighting for females, fighting for their rights the whole time. Whereas you've only been pushing for men to invade female sports. Astonishing. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.